Oh yeah, so shiny, so fierce. Oh, hi there. thatsginter here, and today we're doing photography in a photo studio Lightbox. Okay, so full disclosure, the Lightbox I'm going to show you was sent to me for free for evaluation and feedback, but I'm not being paid to endorse it in any way, so everything I'm telling you is of my own opinion. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get to the unboxing. This knife is kind of dull, but you know what? For unboxing, it's good enough. What is it, you ask? Well, it is a photography studio Lightbox by a company called Travor. Looks like camping gear, kind of. But I guess it comes with its own bag, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's check this thing out. Let's see what we got here. I think these are lights. We've got power. These look like backdrops, different colors. I got looks like a sky or a baby blue, red, white, and black. Nice. Yeah, no, it really looks like camping gear. We've got a bunch of maybe aluminum rails, maybe steel, I don't know, doesn't matter. They're nice, strong rails of some sort, or rods. Bunch of connector angles, corners, okay? I didn't look at this one. What is this? This, ooh, curtain of some sort? Maybe a bib? And this looks like the main outer shell of the box. All right, is there instructions? Yes, there is. To connect all the tube, be a Cube Studio body. Gotta love the translated manuals. As long as they're not completely incorrect, they are very entertaining. All right, so this build process is gonna take a little while, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through it. Just note that the zippers on this thing gave me a few problems, but otherwise it came together pretty easily. All right, here we go. Let's see this thing light up. Ooh, whoa, look at that. I got really dark. It's bright in there. That is really, my camera is auto exposing for the light coming out of this box. Look at this. All right, so you already saw it in the intro. I'm gonna start off by taking pictures of Voltron. Why? Because I already shot Voltron in a previous video, and I thought, why not try it again, but this time with a Lightbox to see what difference it makes. Let's go give it a shot. All right, so this is actually the shooting side. If you're shooting at it from the front, we've got a little window right here. Pull it right on off. And what's nice with the Velcro is you can actually half position it if you need more light to bounce around inside, because the entire inside of this thing is a nice silvery reflective color. So that you can see what we're doing, I'm gonna turn this cube around and just unzipper the side here. That way you can actually see the inside. Now I will lose a little bit of light on that one side, so to keep that in mind if you're looking at the photos and one side looks less evenly lit, it's probably why. It does make setting up your scene way easier though. All right, we're gonna go with this blue colored background, and I already have the lights positioned in here at the top. So go around the other side, hit the switch, see what it looks like. Bam! Now, I'm pretty sure in that last video I shot with a bluish, or I tried to shoot with a blue background because I wanted this kind of Voltron in the sky look, right? So we're gonna use this blue colored backdrop that was provided with this box and see how that looks. Grab my trusty Sony a6500 here, and we are gonna just try to find a good angle. Now, one of the things that is usually kind of challenging when you're shooting infinity backdrops such as this is getting the lighting right, because the way that the light hits that bend in the infinity backdrop is gonna change how bright that blue looks. You can actually see it right now in your shot here. You see how down this whole area right here, this strip that curves behind is a little bit brighter than the area in the foreground, and even some of this area up here. And that is just the way that the lights are positioned. So you can try changing the angle up or down, or you can change the lights themselves. So sometimes you need to fill it in more to try and even out that background color. It'll do the trick, although right now it doesn't seem to help. It's still really, really bright. One of the things that I would normally try and do is reduce this sharpness of this curve. So if you can get at the curve a little more like so, see if that helps. Problem now is I got this blue, extra blue here in the front. All right, I got some clips here. And I'm gonna try clipping it here, just the front. And I'll have to shoot with a tighter focal length to make sure that none of this shows up in the image. That background is still looking a little bright. There's some bumps that I don't... Voltron, no! It's a little bit broken. It's a really old toy, folks. Really old. All right. I am still seeing that undesirable wobble. The other thing is, you see the way that this has like these, they're not necessarily creases, but it's not a perfectly smooth, like look at this edge here. The plastic's a little bit deformed. It might be fixable, but it's very thin. I'm going to try, is that helping? I'm looking at my screen over there so I can see what you guys see. It still has a little bit of a hot spot. That is just one of the downsides of shooting with one of these colored type backdrops, especially these thin, flimsy ones. They just make it very hard to get a nice, even lighting across the whole surface. I'm gonna go ahead and try just shooting it some more, different angles of the lights, different positioning of the lights, different slope on the backdrop, and see if I can come up with something good. All right, so I got a couple shots that I'm somewhat satisfied with as far as getting kind of that infinity blue backdrop. I ended up closing up the side, as you can see here, to help bounce more of that light in. But what I actually really had to do was keep rearranging the lights to figure out a way to not get that hot spot. And another thing is I used this extra piece of diffusion cloth that it came with and hung it in front of one of the lights. It kind of helped create a softer distribution of the light. So yeah, you'll see here, I'm gonna show you a shot where you can definitely see different levels of light on the backdrop, and then the one that I ended up finishing up with, that not perfect for infinity, but I'll take what I can get. All right, so for this next shot, I'm gonna try something a little more challenging. One of the downsides I might have mentioned is that because these lights here are bare LEDs, if you have anything reflective or glossy, it's gonna show up as a reflection. So we're gonna change this out first though for a white background, because actually the white backgrounds are much easier to shoot, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I used to play World of Warcraft a lot.
A lot.
I quit quite a long time ago, before I had my first child. But this was the character that I played. All right, so we have the figurine inside its glass dome with the LED lights on top just as is. And I can tell you before we even take the shot that it's not gonna be good. I can see it already, but just to prove my point, let's take a shot real quick. Yeah, they are right across the top of the dome, right in front of the figurine. It's very distracting and does not look good. So one of the things you can do is you can try bouncing the lights off the silver or white sides and see how that looks. Let's give that a shot. It is a little better to my eye, but still quite distracting. So the other thing we can do is use this. This is just a piece of diffusion material that was included with the box, and you can try and diffuse the light as one large white source, which hopefully creates less of a distraction. It's definitely better than having the LEDs shining bare right at your object, product, whatever it is. So let's go ahead and stick this in there. It's a little bit better, but you can still see the LEDs through the material if it's pointing straight at your subject. So let's try angling the LEDs as well as using the diffusion. Honestly, it's only a little bit better. There might be some other things we can do, like reposition the lights on the side, but if you're shooting anything that's got a lot of reflections in it, you might struggle trying to get a clean shot without seeing the light source in the image. All right, so I managed to find an angle that kind of works. Basically, I took both the lights, moved them towards the back, shot them up at the ceiling, made sure the diffusion was covering the entire ceiling, and cranked up the dial on the brightness. As you could tell, it's much brighter. And I got still a bit of a reflection across the top back part of the glass, but at least it wasn't a glare or a reflection anywhere on the front side of the glass that would then distract you from being able to see the product, or in this case, porn, inside of the glass dome. So yeah, you really do just have to experiment and try different angles, different diffusions, different brightness levels, and try a polarizer. I have a polarizer, but you know what? It's on this camera right now, so I can't try it out, or I guess I could once I stop recording, but that should help you yield better results. It will darken your frame up a little bit, so make sure you increase your exposure or increase the brightness of your light box. The good news is, even though it's a large box, it's just small enough to fit through your standard doorways. So once it's assembled, you can move it throughout your house without too many issues. But it is a large object, and you're gonna need to store it somewhere if you plan to use it all the time and you don't want to break it down. So should you get this one or another light box? Well, I think that depends on a few factors. If you already own flat lays, backdrops, your own lighting gear, and understand how to control light, then you probably don't need this light box or any other one, especially if you like flexibility in choosing your layout, composition, being able to get different angles. But if you don't have any lighting gear and you just need to quickly shoot and list items for sale on your website or Etsy or whatever, this is a pretty good option. It's big enough and it has everything you need to get a clean, well-lit image, even with a phone. Alrighty, well, that's Ginter for now. I hope you enjoyed the video or learned something about using light boxes. I know I did, and if you did, do me a solid and hit the thumbs up button, as well as hitting that subscribe button if you want to see more content about all things camera and photography, because that's what I do here. Oh, and for those of you who stuck around, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you, especially all the new subscribers. I don't know if you noticed, but there are some new boxes sitting right over here in the background, and I am really excited to open them, as there's some new photo prints that I just got and I am dying to open them up. So expect to see that real soon. You know what? I think I'm gonna open one right now. Oh, ho, 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 man. This is ridiculous, but I'm trying to take a thumbnail and I pressed the record button, so there you go.